Welcome to the Dice Tower, a series of video reviews about board and card games. Here are your hosts, Tom Vassell and Sam Healy.
Hey everybody, I'm Tom Vassell.
I'm Sam Healy. Welcome back, folks.
Today we're taking a look at a new set of games from Funko Games. Well, it's called FunkoVerse, the strategy game.
Yeah.
So we're doing two videos on the subject. Sam and I are doing a review of the whole FunkoVerse in general. And there are 6 sets of this that are out, and I'm going to do an overview of those 6 sets in a different video. So if you want to see what's in each set, there's currently DC, Harry Potter, Rick and Morty, and the Golden Girls. And this
fits in.
This is a game in which you take a couple characters, up to 3 characters, and fight against someone else's 3 characters.
Yes.
It is a light game that uses mini Funko characters.
Funko Pops.
Well, they're not the same ones as the actual Funko figures. Anyway, here's an overview of the game, and then we'll tell you what we think.
Yeah.
There are currently 6 sets for the FunkoVerse. We have the 2-player Harry Potter one. We have Rick and Morty. We have a 2-player DC game. We have the Golden Girls. And then there are the ones that come with 4 characters. We have Harry Potter and the DC one. So we're going to open up one of these to show you what it looks like. And I'm doing another video where I'm showing you what comes in each of them. And you'll see that there are 4 figures here. Some dice, some stand for the figures, some tokens, and then underneath that, the rules for the game, some scenarios and other information that you'll need for the game, and the board itself. The rule book gives you 2 ways to play. You can just start with, your first game, a very straightforward fight, or you have the full experience, which is what I recommend. When you play the full experience, you'll pick a scenario. There are 2 sides to the board. Each side in this particular box, there are 2 scenarios for each side, and you'll pick them. So for this side of the board, I can play with flags or control. I have it set up for control. I put these A, B, C, D markers on the board. This shows the starting area where you can put your team. When you're making your team, this box in particular comes with 2 characters plus a basic character that you can use, a henchman. You can replace these characters with any set, put them in. You can also mix the teams. You don't need to play bad guys versus good guys. I could have the Joker and Batgirl against Batman and Harley Quinn, or have the girls versus the guys, or whatever you want to mix it up. Once you start getting sets, you'll probably find yourself very rarely using these extra characters here at all. Now, when you pick these characters, they're going to come with a card that shows special abilities and defensive numbers, but also, more importantly, in the bottom corner here, it shows some colored dots. So here I see 2 reds and 2 grays. So that means my team is going to get these 4 tokens here. There are various different tokens in the game. These are called ability tokens, and these are going to be used for activating your special abilities. They stand for strength and fortitude and ingenuity and charisma and things like that. Each player also has their own board here, a cooldown board, which they'll put next to there. We have some dice for the players, and we have these crystals. These are victory points, which players are trying to get to win the game. Each round of the game, you're going to flip this at the beginning to see who goes first. Players are going to take turns back and forth activating their characters. Once you're finished with a character, you'll put a token next to them to show that character can't be activated again until all the characters have been activated, in which case the round ends. You're going to be moving your characters around the board. Now, these are little small Funko figures. This is an actual Funko Pop figure, and you can see that they're fairly smaller, and they need the base. They won't stand really well without it. So on your turn for a character, you have 2 different actions that you can take, or you can take the same action twice. You can move, and when you're moving, you can even move diagonally, but you can't move through these dark blue lines that are on the board, or through, like, this is not legal because their corner there blocks it, but if he was here in the street, he could move diagonally. So one of the actions you can have is to move around. Another action you can have is simply just to attack another character. If you're adjacent to that character, you can make a basic attack against them. This is known as a challenge, and whenever you challenge someone, you're going to roll 2 dice, and then that person is going to roll dice equal to their defense. So here, I'm attacking Batgirl, and she has 2 dice. So you'll both roll your dice. The attacker is trying to get attack symbols or these exclamation points, which count as successes. So that's 1 success. This is 3 successes for both sides. And the shields count as defense, and then the exclamation points count as 3 defense. So in this case, the attacker rolled 2 shields, the defender rolled 2 attacks, so nothing happened. Had that been reversed, still nothing would have happened because 2 attacks would not have been enough to beat 2 defense. But let's say the Joker had rolled 4 to 2, then the Joker would have won, then Batgirl would have been knocked down. Now, being knocked down is not the end of the world, although if a player is attacked successfully when they're knocked down, then they are knocked out. They're placed over here in the 1 cooldown track and removed, and the person who attacked them is going to get 1 point unless the scenario rules say something differently. If there is no successful second attack, a player can stand up, but that is their whole turn to stand up. You get no other action. Although another player on your team, so let's say Batman was over here, he could stand up Batgirl as one of his 2 actions. He could revive her. The game is more than just moving and attacking, though. Players have special abilities that they can do. So, for example here, Harley Quinn can do a whirlwind, a basic challenge, a basic attack, to each adjacent rival. To do that, though, she needs to spend a red token. So remember, the whole team starts with these tokens, so she can spend one of these red tokens, and it says a 2. This 2 will be put on the cooldown track over here. At the end of every round, everything moves down on the cooldown track, and it comes back. So if a character's knocked out, they simply will come back and go to their starting area, and when a token comes off, you'll get to be able to use them again. So an ability that's more powerful, like the Joker's Bang here, where he can remove a mystery box, because he has these little mystery box tokens that he can drop off on a board and kind of blow up, that those take longer to come off. He also has a very simple thing where he can challenge for 3, do 3 attack to someone, but they must be standing. Each character also has a special ability where if the Joker's knocked out, a mystery box goes in a square. When Harley Quinn stands up, she can do a basic challenge, so she can stand up and attack right away. There's also equipment. Now, in this particular game, I've given the characters their actual equipment. Batman has the Batarang, and Harley Quinn has her mallet, and you have these cards here. Although anybody can hold any equipment, it's just that both teams would get the same amount of equipment, which give the character special abilities. Sometimes when a character uses the ability, it's going to be, this one has a 2 here, the Batarang, it'll be placed on the 2 cooldown track so you can use it again. And other ones here, like Harley Quinn says, when this character does a basic challenge, she can count 1 shield as an attack symbol. So they give you those special bonuses. Players can also do things according to the scenario. So for example, this is a control scenario. So if you're in one of the control areas that's shown on this particular map, you can place one of your tokens here, which will give you 1 at the end of each round. Players can also go over here and go for these tokens here, interact with these tokens, and when they do so, they'll get 1 point, and then they'll place that token here on the top of their track, and eventually it will come off and then get replaced on the map again. The first person to get to 10 points is the winner of the game, unless the scenario says differently. So for example, if you're playing with 2 characters per side, you need 6 points, 3, 10 points to win. And that's the case for all 4 of these scenarios. And I should show you the other side of the board here with the carnival and such, which will have various scenarios. If no one has 1 at the end of a round, then this is flipped over, then that player will go first. All the exhausted tokens are removed from characters, and you go on until somebody wins. What did you think going before you played the game? Like when I first told you that this existed?
When I first heard that Harry Potter, DC, and the Golden Girls and Rick and Morty were all going to be on the same game, I was like, this is nothing but a cash grab gimmick. That's the first thing that I thought.
Well, you're not a big Funko Pop guy at all.
Well, I've got exactly one, and it was a gift that somebody gave to me. It was the Han Solo from the newer series that's coming out, and somebody gave that to me. So I've never even purchased any of these. I don't collect them. I have no connection whatsoever to anything that is Funko Pop related.
Well, I want them. Like I want a whole bunch of Marvel ones, but I don't. I can't afford them, so I buy a couple.
Right. Yeah.
I want the whole set of Marvel figures.
Okay.
That's on my list of whenever I see them on sale. But
Cool. So, I just thought it was a gimmick. That's the first thing I thought.
well, the exciting thing to me when I first heard about this was that this is essentially the Prospero Hall team. And they've designed some really good games in the past. So I was like, well, I hope it's good.
Yes.
And I love. See, unlike Sam, the anachronistic part of this is something I'm excited about.
Yeah, it's cool. It's just that, I understood all the different DC stuff. And I even understood throwing the Harry Potter people in there because those are both action movie things. What made me lose it was Rose and Blanche, man. Come on. The Golden Girls going up against Batman and Robin? Nah, come on. That just doesn't make sense.
You know what, though? I think that's hilarious.
It's funny.
And really, the expansion possibility of this is humongous. But
Very
before
much so.
The game itself, this is a light tactical game. If you play your first game version, it's super light,
Super
right?
light, yeah.
But you can actually go watch as we played this live
Last Tuesday.
It's like 45-minute games at most.
Yeah.
If you're really dragging it out.
Yeah, if you focus on fighting, because it is a point-based thing, I know the scenarios that we've played so far, I'll put it that way, have all been point-based, where you have to reach a certain number of points. If you're not going after the points...
Sure, but the second scenario that we played was a fighting scenario.
Yes.
You got points for taking out your opponents.
Right. So you've got to play the scenario, and then it's going to probably stay within its time parameters that are given on the box.
Sure, and it's not a long game at all, and it's light. Like we said, don't expect some heavy war game here. They made this so that people are going to be able to buy this at Target or whatever.
Yeah,
And yet it wasn't too light for me. We're living in a time period right now where we're seeing several of these light tactical games come out, and I have to say it's one of my favorite genres personally.
Yeah, no, absolutely. It's very fun to focus on the battle instead of focusing on the rules that are governing the battle.
I also like that the deck building is basically grab 3 people. You don't have to do points.
Nah.
And the weapons are like, take the same weapons the other person did. Which means for them it's harder because they got to balance everything perfectly.
Yeah.
It feels balanced. I'm sure we'll find a team where we're like, this team seems overpowered.
And that's one of the things. I guess with the team building, the character, where you can take different characters, you will be able to grok. These guys really synergize well, and this one makes it even better. So this is my team, and you're going to find teams that are better than other teams. That's just that's just the nature of the beast.
Well, there's a ton of combinations. It's 16 times 15 times 14 divided by 5. Divided by 3. That's a huge amount of combinations with just what's in here. And then the weapons, although it's not going to feel like that. You're going to feel like you're doing the same stuff over and over again.
Yeah.
But I don't care. They feel different enough, and they definitely, because they gave them 3 special abilities and then an innate special ability, the characters feel really different.
Yeah.
And they did enough to make them feel like who they are. Batman has the Batarang. You are going to run into the disjointed. If it really bothers you that Blanche just knocked out Batman, I don't know what else.
No,
that's going to bother you.
That's one of the things that I thought was actually cool, because the games the games foster stories. That's the thing. You want to tell people about how Blanche Devereaux threw the Batarang and smacked Draco in the face with it, and that's what won you the game.
Hey, that doesn't matter what.
That's the cool stuff.
I don't think that story's important, but but I do like that, right? I like being able to mix it up together, and it will be interesting because as they release more sets for this, it's exponentially going to be humongous.
Correct.
Now, if I was buying this, and I said this in the other video, and you don't know anything about it, I would definitely get one of these 2 4-packs. All right. Yeah. The 2-packs are fine, but you only get 1 character, and then you got to use the disc. Those discs I would only use if I didn't have enough characters.
Yeah.
But if you're like really worried you won't like it, you can try one of those 2-packs. But I would get one of the 4-packs first, and then throw in the 2-packs. This is everything currently. We managed to squish it into 2 boxes. But if they release one more set, got to get another box.
Oh, well, you're going to have to get
if you're wondering about
box.
Storage, there's that.
I would bet my last dollar they're going to come out with more sets.
Do you think I will collect all of it?
Man, does a bear.
Okay, so
Yeah, that's all I thought.
I really like this game. The cooldown mechanism is pretty innovative. I haven't seen that in a game before.
Yeah, that is cool.
Using a special power, and it's really simple. Using a disc, so when you team build, you can team build people who all have the same stuff, which means you can use the same ability over and over again, but then
You're out of that kind of stuff.
you're out of that stuff, right? Then the other people don't get to use their abilities, or you can try to scatter around. That's neat. And someone getting knocked out, they're just temporarily knocked out, they come right back in. And how fast the game is.
To respawn.
The scenarios, now that we have all 6 sets, I think there's like 20 to 30 different scenarios you can play. Yeah. The component quality is really high across the board and everything.
Yeah.
Some people don't like the chibi nature of this right here. The head is bigger than the rest of their body.
Right.
Whatever. I got over that years ago, actually.
Don't forget to put your characters on their stands. They won't stand up without it.
That's true.
Because they are top heavy.
But for me, this one is 2 extremely high thumbs up. This is one of my favorite games I played this year already. I love, like I said, I like the anachronistic nature of it. I like having Voldemort and Batman on the same team, and I can make up some reason that they're temporarily working together to stop a greater evil. Either that or Voldemort, was making Batman work for him or whatever.
That would probably be
and it's fun to think about the future, but I don't want to get so caught up in that what could come out.
Right.
I want to look at the game as it is, because we talked about this in the past, the Magic the Gathering board game. That came out, was really neat. And I was like, ooh, let's do some building of teams. Well, you couldn't. I had to wait for that expansion to come out. Here, I can do it right now.
Right.
Right now, I already have the 16 different characters and the 8 different weapons and 12 different boards to play on, and then the 30-some scenarios. That's enough for now.
Yeah.
I mean, come on, that is so much to mess with, and it's just fun. And it's a game I could play with my kids and play with Sam, and it works in both situations.
That's true. Yeah, I mean, you almost get stuck on thinking about what they're going to come out with, and it's almost that Cult of the Future type feel where I think they're going to do this, and I think so I'm going to buy it. Well, no, don't do that. They've got great stuff right now, so just focus on what is here right now, and that's the cool thing. You mentioned the cooldown mechanism. I don't think it's necessarily innovative, because you have many games that are out there that have cooldown mechanisms. The thing that made this one really stand out was how simple it was.
I guess that's it. It's a simple cooldown's usually fairly complex in games.
Yeah, I mean, you gotta twist the dial here or move a thing over here, and you just simply put the thing on there and move it down. It's really simple, and I like that about it. When you have a character get knocked out, they just respawn the next turn. Basically what happens, at least as far as what we've seen so far. I have to say, this one's going to get 2 thumbs up from me as well. 2 oversized, huge thumbs that will fall over if you don't have a stand. But for different reasons. I think you were really excited about it going into it, and I was very apprehensive about it going into it.
Sure.
And it won me over in just 2 games, because it is really that fun, it is really that simple, and you focus on the story, the anachronistic stories that are going on, it is going to foster stories, and you're not worrying about, am I doing this right, or am I playing this rule right? No, it's that simple. You're just having fun, and it's great. It's super. Love
if you were getting this just for yourself, I'm assuming you would get the DC set first?
Yeah, probably, because that's what that's going to be the favorite one. I probably wouldn't get the Rick and Morty one. My kids might want me to get the Harry Potter one, but I would definitely get the Golden Girls one.
That's true.
Just because.
Sam's waiting for the other 2-pack of the rest of the Golden Girls.
The one of those, I can't remember their names. I used to watch the show. I can't remember the names, but the short. The oldest one, she always cracked me up, so she's gonna have something up her sleeve. And then the other one is like bigger than the rest of them, so she's probably gonna be like a tank if they come out with it. I doubt they will, but
well, either way, that's the FunkoVerse strategy game. All of them played the exact same way. And if you want to see what's in the different ones, check out our other video. Until next time, I'm Tom Vassell.
Sam Healy. We'll see you guys and gals on the flip side.
Thanks so much for watching another Dice Tower video. If you enjoy our videos, subscribe to the channel for more fun, comprehensive board game coverage. Also, consider joining us at one of our events. Come to Dice Tower Retreat, a small, intimate gathering where gaming is king. Join us for Dice Tower Cruise, the largest board game cruise. Attend Dice Tower West in Las Vegas for gaming fun on the West Coast, or Dice Tower East in Orlando in sunny Florida. Dice Tower Conventions, the friendliest gaming conventions on Earth. I'm Eric Summerer, and you've been watching The Dice Tower.